just by looking at how people are sending messages, we can determine where to send the messages to, and equally as important, where not to, so that way you don't have the same message in 5 different channels. And that's a lot of the value that I think is being created with this product, and you'll just have to play around with it to let us know if we got it right.
Any plans to add a VoIP component or voice in general? Over here. Hey. Asking about voice, video, anything like that.
You know, maybe over time, but we just thought it was a lot easier to unify the 4 channels that we're talking about today, right? SMS, IM, email, and Facebook messages, because they all have something basic in common, which is that they're primarily text, right? So in the future, maybe something like voice, we'll have to think about it and see how, like what users ask for and how they're using the products, but we think that this is a pretty big step by itself, and one that we just wanted to take before we started working on the next set of things.
Hey there. Was wondering if you were going to have any advertising in the messaging screens, and will you be using any of the content of messages for targeting ads? And then finally, in the big picture, what impact do you think this is going to have in your broader rivalry with Google, both for advertising and for user time?
Yeah.
What's the advertising? Are we not advertising?
I missed this second.
What's the context of Google?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, the advertising works the same way it does for the rest of Facebook. There's a space on the right where there are some ads, and we try to make them as relevant as possible. We're not targeting anything based on the context of the content. But I mean, in general, our ad system is based on stuff that the user puts in, right? So that's a huge difference between our ad system and most other ad systems out there. I mean, you get things like all these ad networks, and they're targeting stuff to you based on just tracking you around the web, and our ad system is generally just based on you put in that you like Green Day, we're going to show you when Green Day is coming and give you like an ad for concert tickets. And I think that's a huge difference between our ad system and everyone else's. It's kind of different from the rest of what we're talking about today, but yeah, there's nothing kind of specific about that. In terms of, your other question was competition with Google. I don't know, I mean, I think Gmail is a really good product, right? And it's kind of like what I said at the conclusion of this. You know, one of the things that I think is pretty funny, there's all this coverage that's like, this is a Gmail killer. And some of you guys wrote about this. The code name for this project was Titan, right? The code name for our last messages product was Gigabox. So and there was this article this morning, I think TechCrunch might have written about it, where there was this new company that just launched called Gigabox. And we're like, we had no idea that there was another company that was called Gigabox. So we were all joking this morning, like, Facebook, this isn't a Gmail killer, this is a Gigabox killer. Because we're retiring the Gigabox system inside Facebook in exchange for the new Titan infrastructure that we built. So in reality, I think that they have a great product. Email is still really important to a lot of people. And you know, we just think that this simpler kind of messaging is going to be how a lot more people shift a lot of their communication. And we'll see how that happens over time. But if we build a good product that people want to use, then people will use it.